Welcome in then to Extra Time. Shaka and Stevie with me to answer your tweets. The first one, will Koeman be proved wrong by sending Ricky Puig out of the club, or will it be good for the youngster to play in a club on loan to gain some minutes? Barca fans, of course, not happy with the announcement that they're looking to put him out on loan. Stevie, right decision?
Oh, tell you what, you know, generally when a manager or a coach or whoever it is goes into a new club, you're kind of finding your feet and you're trying to win people over. This guy's absolutely gone in all guns blazing, getting rid of all kinds of players, and I think he's going to need this young guy. I think he definitely does. You know, not just on the field, but off the field, as you said. You know, a lot of fans will already be against Koeman, but now you're sending one of their favourite heroes that they actually come and watch now because they don't have that much else to come for right now, and you're sending them out the door to somebody else. No, I absolutely 100% would have kept him, and I would have kept a hold of him and tried to get him on the field as much and as often as I could. So yeah, I think it's a mistake to let him go.
He was one of the one positives, wasn't he, under Setien, Shaq? And Koeman's, oh no, we don't need that. Off you go. Things going really well for Barca.
I know. Listen, on the one hand, you understand you want your young players to get time and how valuable that is to their own development. But on the other, for Ronald Koeman, who's, well, you would assume still trying to figure things out, who he's got, who he can rely on, exactly what this squad is going to look like, how his team is going to play. I think you keep all those options available until you figure that out. And if come January you realize that Puig is not going to fit in, and I really don't need him as a thought back in September, then you send him out on loan. But right now, I just think it's a little early, a little premature.
Stevie, can Manchester United retain their spot in the top 6 this season after looking at the competition in the Premier League?
I think I would right now say yes, they'll be in the top 6. But the only way they do that is clearly by not performing the way they did at home to Crystal Palace. Ollie said they're not fit. It probably is partly one of the reasons why they didn't play so well. I agree with, but you can't lump it all onto that. So no, I think United will finish in the top 6, but if you're a United fan, that was really worrying today.
Top 6, Shaka?
I'm going to stay saying yes for now, but let's be honest. Of the teams that you expect to be in the top 6 or top 8, that was easily the worst performance we'd seen.
It's nearly half the league, Shaq.
Are we talking top 6? Okay, so we're talking City.
There's only 20 teams in the league. If you're 8, you're nearly halfway.
Okay, but so Liverpool, City, Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, Wolves, Leicester. That's 7. Man United make it 8. Of that 8, that performance we saw from United today against Crystal Palace was easily the worst we've seen from any of that 8 so far this season. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're very forceful, Shaka. Very forceful today. I like that.
Stevie, Liverpool paid $45 million for Diego Jota. Chelsea signed Werner for $45 million. So why didn't Liverpool go for Werner, as the fee is similar for both?
I can only think that Frank Lampard promised Werner time on the field as a starter. Otherwise you take Werner. I mean, what else can it be?
Does Jota
excite you? It can't be anything other than... Well, straight away you go, I didn't expect that. But then you go, well, hold on a second. I didn't expect Firmino. I didn't expect Salah. I didn't expect Mane. I didn't expect James Milner. I didn't expect Wijnaldum. I didn't expect Robertson. I mean, you're going through the side now, and when all these players I've just named were signed, everybody was, well, I'm interested to see how they do. So it's kind of the same thing with Jota. And Liverpool have got it right so many times in the recent past that you have to go, tell you what, they've obviously got a plan for him. And so we'll wait and see. If he turns out half as good as those guys I've just named, then it'll be a great signing.
Shaka, what is Haaland's ceiling?
In what, goals this season, or just in
Just in
how
life.
high he can go?
In life.
Oh, in life, I think he'd be a very successful young man. I think he's got a lot to be excited about. Listen, Haaland, as we've said before, an incredible talent, and you saw that again today against Mönchengladbach with his finish. I don't think that there's anything or any club that he does not fit into. The only thing, and we said it at the start of last season, starting last season, he was a teenager, and with that comes inconsistency, and that's what you saw last season. But then you also saw.
When did you see that last season, Shaq?
See what?
Inconsistencies.
He didn't finish the season strongly at all.
Oh, I thought you did all right, didn't he, after the break?
Listen, Dan, I'm telling you right now, he was inconsistent. Right?
Okay, sorry.
Right.
Shaka, you're right, by the way. Some of his other, listen, his finishing was great, but some of his other play was a bit inconsistent, no question. So,
his finishing was great, but his other play, what do you want? His defensive play.
See, that's what. See, Shaq, see what you're up against. Somebody that knows nothing about being a centre forward.
Yeah.
All he thinks is put the ball in the back of the net.
I think it's
absolute
goals.
nonsense.
Ridiculous.
You've got to hold the ball up.
Yeah.
You've got to play people in.
Yeah.
You've got to make space for others. You've got to run in behind to make space
You've got to be
again for
Firmino.
others. You've got to walk the centre backs away. Aye, yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Showing your knowledge again, Dan.
Oh yes, never played. Okay. I don't want you.
Shaka, punter alert. Punter alert.
I don't want you to name names, but I'm sure you have stories. The worst teammate you've had.
Worst teammate I've had.
Stevie, I always think of a goalkeeper that you talk about.
Yeah. A rather chubby one. I mean, actually, there was another one. Hey, there was another. I'll tell you what, there was another guy, and I'll tell you what he did. So, whenever you went away, you always had a roommate, right? And so this guy ended up. His roommate was one of the kids who was travelling in the trip for first time. And he told them that when you travel away and you have a roommate, you share the phone bill. And the guy who told them this was clearly a foreigner, and so he was phoning abroad all the time. And he took the money off the kid. He took half the phone bill so you paid your bill in the morning before you left to go to the game. Oh. You went down and you paid your room bill.
Yeah.
And then he made the kid give him half the money. And then the lads found out, and it was one of them. Right. Gave him his money back or else. And he was like, I didn't know. Yeah.
That
would be the
because
worst.
I mean, we're dating ourselves here, but of course, this is pre-cell phone days, and those hotel phones were expensive.
Yeah.
It was tough. Yeah. That's awful.
What about you, Shaq? Worst teammate?
Oh, as you said, I was trying to think about it. As you said, goalkeeper to Steve. I think I gave you this story, and I'm going to call names. At Portsmouth, we signed a goalkeeper, a Greek goalkeeper, Kostas Chalkias, who did not say a word to me. Like, it didn't say a single word. So even when I come in the morning, I would say, "Morning, Kostas." He would just totally blag me. So that became mine. That was my fun for when I came in. Every time I come into training, I would go and find him. "Morning, Kostas," and he would just walk by me. When I was leaving, "See you tomorrow, Kostas." He would just walk. I mean, it was. I remember one time we trained at Fratton Park, and me, Ricardo Fuller, and Kostas were the last three people to leave the dressing room for whatever reason. And he got up and said, see you tomorrow, Ricardo." I just walked out, just left me sitting there. I just left. It was so good. It was so funny.
Was it because obviously you were rivals in goal, or was it just because he hated you just in general?
I could only. No, we had. I'm sure we had other goalkeepers. We had a Dutch guy called Harold Wappenaar, and we had Jamie Ashdown. I think was there as well. So, but as far as I could tell, he was all right. He was all right with them. He said hello to them. Just would not say hello to me. Wouldn't.
Anti-Trini, Shaq. That's a problem.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Shouldn't Gabriel have been given a handball for the same reason as Lindelof's was given? Shaka, do you feel that goalkeepers are at a disadvantage since strikers can do anything, but goalkeepers can't even move a millimetre off the line during a penalty kick?
I can't even think of the Gabriel handball that question is talking about.
Yeah, he tried to duck out a challenge, Shaq, and it hit him on his arm. Yeah, I don't think that's a penalty. I don't think that's a penalty.
Right, I'm going to go with what Stevie says.
Okay, and then what about goalkeepers crying?
Yeah.
Hey, that's the law. I mean, I don't know what the question is getting at here. It was even worse back in our day. And I think the difference here, obviously, is the goalkeeper's under no pressure to make the save as well. So, you know, it's what am I supposed to say that, you know, goalkeepers can't move an inch? I mean, that's the law.
Shaka, final question. If you were Frank Lampard, would you play Kepa or Willie in tomorrow's match against Liverpool?
I'd play Willie. As I said before, I would have played Willie in their game last week. And Kepa went ahead and proved me right on that one. And I'd do the same again. Even though Chelsea continue to be linked with Mendy strongly, and we'll see what happens during the course of this week. You clearly have no faith in Kepa. Kepa's confidence or the little break hasn't done his confidence any good at all, and you saw that in his performance last week. Make the change. Make the change permanent. Try to find an exit for Kepa at the same time.
Stevie?
Yeah, it seems at least with Caballero's an experienced campaigner, regardless if he's in good or bad form, he's going to turn up and he's going to be sensible and he's going to have a clear head, whereas Kepa seems to be all over the place. And clearly the back line knows that. And so when you've got a guy standing behind me where you think every time there's a shot it could go in the net, that's not a good spot to be. So I would put Caballero in goals absolutely above Kepa right now.
Great stuff, boys, as always. Thank you very much. ESPN FC returns tomorrow. Chelsea against Liverpool, of course, will be our big talking point. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.